off, so one of the most frequently asked questions, so why did you choose accountancy and real estate?
Okay, so maybe I'll share first. The reason why I chose accountancy is because when I was choosing my course, I knew that I wanted to work in the business industry, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I actually sought some advice from my dad, and my dad advised me to do accountancy, and there was no regret since, because I think that, as we all know, that accountancy is the language of business. I think that the quantitative and analytical skills that I've picked up during the course of my degree has set me up for my career. And I think that the accountancy degree that I've picked up at NUS will provide me with the diverse career options that I wanted.
So similarly for me, I joined real estate because I was interested in the business sector of things, but I wasn't really too sure about which side I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. And I was quite interested in the real estate industry because they said real estate is where the money is at, right? So that's why I kind of joined. And also, yeah, I was more interested, I'm not sure if I'm interested in finance or urban planning, and I think real estate, my course allows me to choose either and learn about both. So that's a reason why I chose real estate, yeah.
So personally for me, I've always been interested in business since young. So I'm always into the entrepreneurial spirit and entrepreneurial things. But specifically why I chose accountancy was because I thought accountancy was a little bit more technical as compared to a typical generic BBA degree. So that was the main reason why I decided on accountancy. Okay, so moving on to next question maybe. So maybe you can share about one of your more memorable experience here at NUS Business School.
Memorable experiences in NUS Business School. Maybe I can share a bit about my student exchange. It's not really exactly in NUS Business School, but I would say it's like one of my key experiences I had while I was a student in NUS Business School. So I went for a 6 months exchange in the USA, in this university called the University of Southern California, also known as USC. So I really enjoyed my time at USC. I made a lot of friends, not just with the American friends that were there, but also with other international students that also were doing a student exchange. So it's quite interesting because when I went for a student exchange, I went there alone. I didn't really bring a lot of friends with me. But when I ended the student exchange, I actually had a lot more new friends now, and I think that these new friends actually would stay with me for my lifetime. I think I learned a lot of skills and soft skills from my student exchange.
I think for me, I wish I could share about my SEP experience, but because I'm just year 2, I haven't gone for SEP, but I actually secured a slot in the University of California, so maybe you can tell me more about it after this ends. Okay. And so what I was interested in is, what's memorable to me is, maybe for business school, we have a lot of career advisors that are ready to help us. So for me, looking for internship was actually wasn't quite difficult. Yeah, it was quite simple. You just had to apply, and then NUS also had a Talent Connect website, so it's easier to apply. And then, yeah, for me, even though I'm just year 2, I actually had gone for internships and have been constantly applying. So if I would say that's something I really appreciate about business school and memorable, I guess.
All right, on that note, so especially for Aaron, since you are going to graduate this semester, so how has NUS Business School prepared you for the working world?
All right, I think that how NUS Business School has prepared me for the working world is that it has taught me it's helped me to develop a few soft skills. I think number one is speaking up. I think the seminar style of teaching in NUS Business School really encourages the students to participate in class, to speak up. I think before I joined NUS Business School, I would consider myself to be quite introverted. I didn't really dare to share my ideas. When I first stepped into class, I felt it was very intimidating. But after experiencing four years of university, I realized that there's actually nothing to be afraid of. Your ideas are actually very valuable and people are willing to listen. So I think that has really built me up as a person. I think I want to bring this trait to the workplace also, whereby I'm willing to speak up, share my ideas, and build my network.
I think I could say the same about myself. So in business school, we really are, I wouldn't say trained, but we are really familiarized, and in this environment where all of us just speak up and talk about what we feel, and we are not afraid to share about share in class. And yeah, I think that's something that I really take away too.
Yeah, for me personally as well, I joined a lot of case competitions in NUS as part of the NUS Case Consulting Group. So that really trained me in holding my critical thinking skills, and also my presentation skills, and how I present myself in front of the judges and in front of people in general. And that really helped me in my internships as well. Currently interning at an asset management firm, and that definitely did help me a lot, both in terms of the technical and the soft skills as well. All right, so maybe you can share a bit more about the class experience. You know, what is something that is, you know, special or, you know, stand out for NUS or for classes at NUS in terms of curriculum, or, you know, how classes are conducted, etc.
I think that the classes in NUS, it's very interesting. I think that the curriculum and the content that is being taught is very updated, and I think that it's very relevant in today's society. So one course which I've taken last semester, which I felt was very interesting, it's this module called AI, Blockchain and Quantum Computing. It's taught by Professor David Lee. So I think it's really interesting because while we are in business school, and it's also a finance module, this class teaches you about the new and upcoming technologies and how it influences the finance sector. I think that this course is very interesting, and I recommend my juniors to take it up if you can.
I think for real estate, what is interesting, not really interesting, but something that is good is that it really facilitates a discussion. So it is not maybe your teacher wants you to answer, or your professor wants you to answer a specific answer, right? They want the students to think more, and they want us to think out of the box and have more ideas. And yeah, I think for real estate, we are quite up to date. So for example, what we learn in our modules, in our course is quite updated. So you can see the syllabus constantly changing when there is a real world event happening. So for example, when COVID first happened, the real estate industry was also updated in that sense, where we learned about how COVID impacts the real estate, and how facilities and assets change because of that. Yeah.
So for me, what I think is interesting about the curriculum here is that there's a lot of unrestricted electives for you to choose the specific areas that you're interested in. So for example, if you want to do finance and you're interested in investment banking, for example, then you can take in courses and more finance electives in those areas. So you can really choose and be flexible with what you want to learn. So I think that's really something that's special about NUS Business School as well. So now maybe we can move on to the student life. So I heard, Aaron, you mentioned that you stay in hall. Maybe you can share a bit more about the experience, or any other clubs that you joined.
Yeah. So I spent a semester in Shears Hall, and I felt that it was a really good experience. I felt that the people there were very nice, and I joined a few CCAs while I was in Shears. I think that I would really recommend all my juniors to join a hall, or there's also other options like residential colleges, and so there's different emphasis for the different colleges. I think it's good if you speak to your seniors or try to do some research about what each residential college or hall is good at before you join.
Personally, for me, I didn't choose to stay in the hall, so I actually stay at home. But I didn't let that stop me from joining a lot of CCAs. So I actually joined a lot of clubs, such as I mentioned before, I joined BAMS, and then before this, I actually joined NUS Entrepreneurship Society, and then I also joined sports club, even though as the sports camp OCOM. So I joined a variety of things to enrich my university experience, not just limited to NUS Business School. Also maybe because I feel FOMO that I don't stay in hall. Yeah, but no, that's definitely not the case. I am just someone who wants to experience more unique experiences, and Yeah, so I joined a variety. I also joined volunteering. Yeah, it's like NUS special volunteering program. So actually NUS has a lot of CCAs, and I still want to join more, like investment consultancy and all that. But I think because I'm just in year 2, I have to take it slow. So I will see how, and I'll take more CCAs in the future. But my university life has been very fun up to now, and I really joined many different CCAs to enrich my experience. Yeah.
Alright, so now we have a question from Michelle. So she wants to know more about the accountancy and finance curriculum. So maybe you can just briefly go through the accountancy and finance curriculum, since you do both, right?
Yeah. So I think how it begins is that you have to do your general electives modules. I think these are a group of 5 to 6 modules which all NUS students have to take. After which you'll do your core business modules. After which you will do accountancy specialization. It's about 11 modules whereby you learn the ins and outs of accountancy. Some of the modules include corporate accounting, management accounting, taxation. So it's really quite interesting. For finance specialization, you can choose which finance electives you want. There's really quite a lot of flexibility. I remember I took the financial markets module. I also took the AI, blockchain, and quantum computing module. So these are quite diverse, very different modules, but both are taught by finance professors.
Alright, so we actually also have another session later on about accountancy. So maybe if you're very interested on that, you can stay tuned for that as well. So we have another question from Cookie. So from Li Ching. So she asked, why NUS over other universities specifically? So maybe I can just quickly run through my rationale before you guys go through yours. So for me, there were a few reasons. The first reason would definitely be the student life present in NUS. So I think Aaron and also Fanny mentioned a lot about the CCAs and student lives that they join, student life activities that they join. So it's really diverse here. You can join all sorts of things that you're interested in. And I knew that NUS had the most vibrant student life as compared to some of the other universities that I considered. And also NUS, because I wanted to choose accountancy specifically, I didn't want to do a shorter course. I wanted to do a bit longer course because I wanted to give myself more bandwidth to explore what I really want as a career and do more internships as well. So that really helped me because I feel that if it's just 3 years of university, it's a bit too short for you to really discover what you want and to build the skills required of the industry. So that's just my personal opinion. And that's basically one of the main reasons why I chose NUS. Maybe Aaron or Fanny, you can just quickly run through your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that choosing NUS Business School was a very easy decision for me. You know, like it's a world-class university, elite university. The alumni, very huge alumni base. People from NUS Business School go on to really accomplish many great things. You have CEO, chairman, even minister. So I think that on top of that, I really like the international exposure that NUS Business School provides. I think there's a compulsory international exposure element whereby students have to do either like a student exchange program or NOC or summer school. So I think that in general, all the NUS students which I've talked to are very culturally sensitive. Everyone is very international. So that's what I really like about NUS Business School.
Yeah, similarly, it's because of the NUS school life, and definitely I feel that NUS was quite an easy choice for me as well, especially since it was quite, the vibrant school life was definitely more than that of other universities, at least from what I heard. And also there is the compulsory overseas program that Aaron has mentioned. So for that program, you also have SEP. You don't just have SEP, you also have NOC, which is NUS Overseas College. So there is also a compulsory element, and also NUS definitely helps you to get a lot of career opportunities. So I believe for the business side, there is a compulsory internship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though real estate doesn't have, you can still get modular credits for getting into internships. Yeah. So I think that's something that I really wanted integrated into my real estate course. Yeah, and my university life.
So unfortunately, time is catching up on us. So thank you so much, Aaron and Fanny, for answering all those questions. So that's all we can cover for this session. But not to worry, because we have a full day of live programs lined up just for you. So do stay tuned for our next session, which is Ask Our BBA Deans Anything, which will start in about 10 minutes' time. So with that, thank you very much and see you soon.